Hello everyone and welcome to UBON Safari's Facebook Live. Today I bring you the concession fee. Now most of you must be wondering, what is concession fee? Concession fee is something that is a fee that's applicable to accommodation facilities such as lodges and permanent structures, accommodations that are based inside the national park. Now we're talking about national parks and not game reserves, so please keep in mind concession fee is something that's applicable to accommodation facilities inside national parks. Now we're talking about Tanzania's concession fee. And there has been quite an uproar about the recently introduced concession fee. Now let me tell you one thing. The concession fee was already existing from a long time back, but there has been a major change in the price structure, and that has kind of confused people. So I'd like to clear that confusion. And so I'm just talking about the differences between concession fees and all that. So with so many types of fees that you pay when you go to on a safari to Tanzania, there is park entry fee, there is creator fees, there is a concession fee, there is conservation fee, there is development levy and whatnot, and not forgetting the VAT to be added on top. So if the park fee, for example, if the park fee is Serengeti, is $50 for Serengeti National Park, then there is 18% VAT added on top. And all in all, the average fees that a person pays while on a safari is from between $90 to $120, and plus or minus. It can be more, it can be less, depending on which park you're visiting. These fees were introduced very recently. The increase in the fees and the price change in the price structure happened this year. From the 1st of which has been applicable from the 1st of July. So if you don't know about this, this is what it is all about. Now, what is the difference between park fee and concession fee? A park fee is something that you pay when you enter a park. So for example, if you're visiting the national park just for a game drive, maybe you're staying outside the park, then you only pay the park fees. Now these park fees are valid for 24 hours for people who are staying inside the park, and a single entry for people who are staying outside the park. Whereas the concession fee is applicable to people who are staying inside the parks. So inside the parks there is also a difference. There is accommodation that's available inside the parks, which are just mobile tented camps and semi-permanent tented camps, which are not you don't end up paying concession fees. But then again, for most of the accommodation facilities like the lodges or permanent tented camps, you end up paying park fee plus concession fee, which is a lot for a person to pay. Thank you guys for your hearts. Another fact about park fees and the difference between the park fee and a concession fee is children under the age of 10 go free in terms of concession fees. So the concession fees are not applicable for children under the age of 10, whereas the park fees are for children above the age of 5 years are charged. The park fees are applicable for children above the age of 5 years. It does add to the safari cost, which cannot be avoided. Yes, that's right, Umang. Yeah, unfortunately, Tanzania is becoming much more of a very high-end destination with the changes in the price structure, but that's unavoidable. And Tanzania remains one of the best destinations to visit, which is why most people love to go to Tanzania. And while we're talking about the fees, the park fees and the concession fees, I would also like to bring up the camping fees. If many people like to enjoy and feel Africa, experience Africa as it is, and many people have got that fantasy of doing a camping safari. So when you're on a camping safari, there is camping fees applicable. So that means that you pay camping fees plus the park entry fees. So that has to be kept in mind. It's a beautiful destination with some of the best wildlife and beach. Yes, that's right, Umang. And that's why we love Tanzania, don't we? Talking about all these park fees and all that, one would ask, so why stay inside the park when you end up paying a lot more? It's entirely up to a personal choice. Many people do like to stay inside the parks just because they don't like to travel long distances, plus they don't want to miss out on something that's that they can see very early in the mornings. They can do a game drive very early in the morning, whereas if you're staying outside the park, you end up driving that distance. So it depends on how far is your accommodation from the park gate. It can take you a while before you get into the park, and by then it's a bit too late. Plus the park gates open at 6 o'clock in the morning, so you can only enter the parks after 6 o'clock. And again, it also adds up to the cost. So if you're on a budget and want to make a choice between staying inside the park or outside the park, you can decide. If you want to stay, if you decide to stay outside the park, you can avoid the extra concession fees. And there are a number of lodges, intended camps, which we have got a list of, that fall into the concession fees category, which we will soon put up on our website under the blog section, and you can always visit that or share it with anyone who is interested in this. And with this, I'm going to end my Facebook Live today. I hope this will be useful for everyone who watches this at a later stage. Please do send us your comments or questions you may have about the park fees, about the concession fees. Fern, thank you very much for tuning in, and I appreciate, yes, we'd like to share whatever news or information we may get with our viewers. So please do send us any questions or any comments you may have, and anything you would like us to discuss during our Friday's Facebook Live. So that's all from me for now. And bye everyone, and have a lovely weekend.